Have you ever felt confused about how to use getters in TensorFlow? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into the concept of getters and how they can simplify your coding experience. I totally get it. Understanding TensorFlow can be overwhelming, especially when it comes to concepts like getters. Many users struggle with this, and it can feel like you're lost in a sea of technical jargon. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, "What is the concept and use of getters in TensorFlow?" They want to know how to effectively use the tf.getVariable function. If this sounds like you, stick around as we break it down. So what exactly is a getter in TensorFlow? In simple terms, a getter is a function that retrieves variables. The tf.getVariable function is a powerful tool that allows you to create or retrieve variables in a consistent way. Let's explore its signature. And don't go anywhere. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand getters, but also how to use them effectively in your projects. To understand the concept of getters in TensorFlow, the user should first know that getters are functions that retrieve variables. They help manage variable creation and retrieval in a consistent manner. Next, the user should look at the function tf.getVariable. This function allows the user to create or retrieve a variable with a specific name and properties, such as shape and initializer. The user can also specify a custom getter. This is useful for modifying how variables are created or retrieved. For example, a custom getter can append a suffix to variable names. Finally, the user should remember that using a custom getter can help in organizing variables better, especially in large models. It allows for flexibility in variable naming and management. To clarify, the custom getter takes the true getter as its first argument. This means you can modify how variables are created. For example, you could add a suffix to variable names. This is a handy trick for organizing your code. Fun fact: did you know that TensorFlow was originally developed by researchers and engineers from the Google Brain team? It's come a long way since then, making deep learning more accessible to everyone. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user explains that the custom getter in TensorFlow provides a way to hook into the variable creation process. It allows you to override certain behaviors when creating variables, which can be useful for specific issues. They compare the custom getter to a Python decorator, where you write a function that takes the original function and its arguments, but you return the result instead of modifying the function itself. You can specify the custom getter in the variable scope, allowing you to apply it to multiple variables at once. For example, you can wrap your entire network in a scope to L2 normalize all variables without changing each layer individually. However, it's important to note that the example provided returns a tensor instead of a variable, which could lead to issues with operations like tf.assign. That wraps up that answer. Let's move on to another one. An alternative approach shared by a user involves using a custom getter to modify the caching device based on the variable's shape size. This method allows for more dynamic management of variables in TensorFlow. Here's a pro tip: always document your custom getter functions. This will save you time and confusion later on, especially when revisiting your code after some time. And there you have it. You now have a solid understanding of getters in TensorFlow and how to use them effectively. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more insights and tips on TensorFlow and machine learning.